which coincidentally is as much health as Reaper has, which is very important because Reaper, very hard to take down because of the healing he gets from his damage. But if you can kill him in one shot, that'll do. Same for Mei.
All right, here we go. HSL with the Reaper. Gonna run straight towards Clockwork Vendetta and hopefully kill Ricky before he isolates the rest of your team with the wall. Fisher is on a Mei of his own though, so can kind of do the same thing. Askov's going to be on at the Lucio too, so they just really want to set up Zapre for success in this situation. They're going to rotate to the high ground. They get stuck though. That wall's kind of annoying, but they're going to be okay.
Previous foes of HSL have decided to hold in Cafe against this. Less so this time. We are seeing a rotation though, and now they're trying to isolate people on the low ground, block out so many factors from Clockwork Vendetta.
Yeah, block out those sight lines, also good. Not when Henningsen goes down first, but at least they trade in the form of a healer. A big wall coming through from Ricky to save his Ana for the time being, but he is now in desperate need of some attention. But Moose turns around, kills off Askov, 180s, and kills off Fisher in one shot as well.
The value there with a peeling wall allows Zytor to not get frozen, not get picked off, and that means he can go around the other way. He can heal up his tanks, keep his team as a factor in that fight. Such great presence of mind from Ricky. His game sense on this Mei is basically unparalleled. I would not hesitate to call him potentially the best Mei in the world right now, but maybe I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself. We'll have to see if he can make it to the finals here. That's exactly what Clockwork Vendetta want. They want that first point hold. No one's going to be marching into that Sonic Arrow. It will instead be Ricky waylaying them, using that wall, slowing them down. 2 minutes and 30 left on the clock for HSL, and if they get caught with this Dragon Strike and Holt, it could be deadly.
Yeah, this is going to be a problem. Dragon Strike's going to come out already. Askov going low, but he's going to be okay. Ding heals him up in the end. He managed to get an assassination onto Zytor on the side. Insta-freeze on top as he does try to get the ult off. A resurrection onto Moose. This might be what they need as Clockwork Vendetta all go anti. Henningsen now marching through the shield, picks off Mini-Me and Ricky as they get onto the point.
We talk him up a lot, but that there, Mukmada got very little value out of a Dragon Strike. I feel that could have been held a little bit longer, potentially you get more value out of it, but maybe he was trying to avoid a defense matrix from Chow, making sure he could just fire into the ice wall so that it wouldn't be so clear as to where that dragon was coming from, harder to eat. Speaking of Chow, he's almost got that self-destruct ready to go, and after you see Minimi put down the shield, that's going to be the ideal time for Chow to use the self-destruct. Not only because it moves everyone, but after it destroys that shield, it'll be an extended amount of time before Minimi can put it down again.
All right, and though Zapre hasn't changed up to the Widow, and Mukmada has, so he has the range advantages in this situation. I want to see if they do rotate up to the high ground here, just try and force them off, but obviously your attention is probably going to be on the payload at this point. You have got Orisa and Chow on the D.Va, of course, wanting to eat those holes. They do go anti once again. Moose spots the shield through the floor, but he's not going to be able to do too much about it.
And the invincibility frames of the teleport have also been extended for the Reaper, which means he can go straight up onto the Widowmaker.
Oh, the Nano on the whole hog. He's going to get frozen, though. That's going to be a bit of an issue, but Moose is still behind the shield. Not for long as Zapre moves on forward. Kills off Moose. Nice sleep dart onto Mini-Me as well. A swift headshot will finish him off. And now HSL continue to get this payload moving, but they have to deal with Ricky to start off with. Scarippa surviving for as long as he can, does do the halo jump and manages to glide back to safety, but still burning off some more time.
HSL have got some good momentum going here. They've got the sound barrier to try and deal with that Blizzard. The defensive ultimate can be so important when you're dealing with these playmaking offensive ones as well. You can see Henningsen's claiming a lot of space here, and they ignore the hook, or rather they mitigate it using the sleep.
Yeah, Moose is actually on the sidelines. No way could have comboed with Mini-Me. It's going to be an straight on top.
Beautiful shot,
Zapre, but he instantly kills Ricky off. That was a 0.5 of a second before he got frozen, got the headshot, and hey, HSL, they've got second point as well. 4 minutes, Harry, in that time bank to push it towards third. Okay, Zapre teleports forward, and he might be dead here.
No, tonight, Bibsy.
Goodbye.
Well, Mukmada going to execute him, and right there, he actually just destroyed Ricky. You can do enough damage to kill a Mei in one shot if you hit a headshot with Reaper's shotguns, and exactly what he did. He managed to save his flex support along with the usage of the sound barrier, and now this is a really good time bank for HSL. They got 4 minutes to try and complete this, and if you want the reverse sweep to happen, this is what you got to be, right? You got to be in a good mental space. You can't be tilting, you can't be making bad decisions. Right now, HSL are looking strong. They're going to have to remain strong, though, against Mukmada's usage of this Dragon Strike. It wasn't so good on defending first point. It's going to have to redeem it. You know that Zapre's waiting for a drop down here.
Oh, Harry, if this works. Nano Boost on the Reaper, going full Beyblade. Can he actually get anything off? Nope. gets slept. Unfortunate, instantly taken down as well, but it's going to get followed up here with a beautiful little freeze coming through from Fisher. Scarippa and Moose didn't stand a chance. He's going to wall the rest of the people off as well. A halt into the Dragons, though. Henningsen bites the dust. Clockwork Vendetta still holding firm on this payload, but Monk Martyr pays the price for it. He does get slept, but once he gets back up, an instant arrow was signed Ding's name, and he ends up falling. That'll be HSL still trying to get this payload moving. 2 minutes and 55 seconds remaining.
Now, we've been talking a lot about the DPS because they have been sort of the stars of our show, but our Annas are on fire right now, Jaws, when it comes to these sleep darts. So many assailants put to sleep, given a bit of dream time, and the dreams unfortunately never cease when they go back to spawn, executed. So easy to do that when you've got a Reaper or a Hanzo who can deliver that one shot to the head. Ricky's ready with a Blizzard. Chow needs to eat this if he wants to be effective in this next fight, because of course this can do so much to the backline. Ding doesn't really have the ability to get away with it, and Ricky's more than happy to go for these solo usages.
Zapre had to use that Wraith form in order to not get hooked. Now it's going to be Ricky versus Fisher. Not quite, though. It's the rest of HSL do roundabout on him. There's the Blizzard in the back. Chow didn't get the E, and Henningsen's already dead. Zapre may have claimed his life here, but they got no shield tank to play around.
Good peel with the wall right there, making sure no one can follow up onto Askov, but it does allow for resurrection. Ricky's back in the fight, and the rest of HSL are backing off right now. They don't have a play to make. They're going to wait potentially for Zapre to be in another position, have his Wraith form back and ready to go. He can drop onto the backline and potentially get himself out scot-free using that Wraith form, but you got to remember, Wraith form has no verticality, so if he finds himself isolated like that...
What a shot.
He can't get around a wall that Ricky may place to try and get rid of his means of escape. Moose, with the whole hog, will be able to do a lot of damage, not only to a shield, but also to a wall. He can focus on a single pillar and take it down incredibly quickly to make sure that any wall that blocks him off or blocks one of his teammates off can be quickly dispatched.
Zapre's done it 3 times now, hit up on the sidelines, so it's about time Moose did pay attention to him. Momada still trying to fish for these headshots on the sides. Isn't in too much danger, really. He only has to worry about Zapre and maybe the stray headshot by Fisher. Ceasing the resistance, HSL, but that Dragon Strike doing a whole bunch of work. They're going to have to move forward. That beat forced out because that anti-neighbor is good. Blizzard on top of the point as well. In fact, that Supercharger and the rest of them that were carrying on it is going to be good enough. But Monk Martyr on the side clears off Askov, and a resurrection from Scarippa as well. That Blizzard looks so good for HSL, but they get halted in their tracks, and now only have 50 seconds remaining in order to complete third.
And Supercharger, Jaws, it's the effective damage boost, the same as a Nano boost. So that's basically a Nano whole hog going into 2 members. You get rid of Zapre, you get rid of a main source of healing. Tactical crouching, you don't want to get hit by that Reaper headshot. Unfortunately, Chow's unable to avoid a headshot being executed there by Moose. And Clockwork Vendetta, they've drained such a huge time bank. 3 minutes and 30, HSL have languished trying to get through this third point. And they're still going up against an ultimate bank. Ricky's almost got the Blizzard. Monk Martyr's got the Dragon Strike ready to go as well. They don't have much of a way of mitigation. Warrior support ultimates are nowhere to be seen. It's got to be Zapre. It's got to be Chow.
Dragon Strike coming through, though. The holt's not going to be as good to kill off Ding, but Askov already falls. Self-destruct in the back. You got to clear off the point, but a perfectly placed shield from Mini-Me to keep him alive. And a Blizzard on top of the main tank as well. Henningsen didn't stand a chance, and neither did the rest of HSL. They step off the point, and it is halted just before third. And now Clockwork Vendetta have a very clear win condition to take them to the finals. Get it past those double doors, and you've netted yourself a 3-0.
Valiant attempt there from HSL. They put the mechas in the back alongside the horses, of course. But unfortunately, it was just a really good shield from enemy. He repositioned it, and it didn't even take the whole damage. It wasn't even broken by the self-destruct because he repositioned himself so well. They isolated Henningsen, who decided to go over onto the Rhine half of that final fight. Maybe wanted a bit more of a mobile shield so that he could more easily peel away from the supports, or make sure he could put himself between various angles where his supports may be taking damage. Because, of course, when you're looking at Clockwork Vendetta, you expect Moose to be coming from weird angles. You expect McMahon to be taking weird angles as well. So having a more dynamic shield in those final fights where you can't afford pickoffs and you can't afford to try and build up an ultimate bank or an ultimate economy like you would with an Orisa could be what Henningsen prefers in that scenario.
HSL now on the defense. They got Zapre on the McCree, Fisher on the May, and they got Askov back on the Baptiste. It has been one of his best heroes so far. I want to see more of it from him. Those amp matrices are so beneficial when you are holding up on the top cafe or even holding in the low ground here. You can just fire through onto the point and you're not really vulnerable to all of anything. Plus you have the wall if you desperately need it. Plus Immortality Field too. There's just so many good things about Baptiste and about Askov's Baptiste as well. Clockwork Vendetta, same old though. Stick with the comp they know and love.
They are going to have Chow, though, for HSL on this Roadhog, which is going for classic oink and yoink of combinations with a Halt and the chain hook. But not having the usage of the D.Va amplification or the defense matrix now means that Monk Marder and Ricky will be able to ult with impunity, and we know Ricky has really good placements of these blizzards.
Yeah, it's kind of debated currently whether the Hog or D.Va is the better one. It feels definitely more in favor of just what your team prefers. If you're a better D.Va, go with D.Va. If you're a better Hog, go with Hog. In this instance, of course, Moose not going on D.Va because he is definitely a Hog specialist. Now, Chow's Hog hasn't been as effective as we've liked. He's very much more known as a D.Va. That's the hook you want to see, though, coming through from Moose. Having some bites the dust, and HSL have no res.
And now you can see, going around the back, trying to go for that clutch hook. Will not connect from Chow. He's got to get back onto the point now. He's the only tank. He needs to keep it contested.
Clockwork Vendetta can inch this shield up so close to where HSL are going to defend. Chow is going to get slept on the top side, but it's going to take so much damage coming back down. Again, it's on the DPS, Harry. It's going to be Fisher. It's going to have to be Zaprate in order to clutch this one out. Chow is still trying to fish for those hooks, but Clockwork Vendetta completely denying him.
First hit's gone through, going for the Hulk, no hook to follow it up. He will instead get blocked off by the wall. Amps out.
And Matrix comes through. Ricky, Mini-Me, they're already dead. Askov's building up these ults so quickly. He can heal the majority of his team, of course, because Ding's only got an orb. 38 HUBS, that's nothing compared to what Askov can deal. Zytor in the back, got a big nade. He's going to let himself an ultimate of his own, but it's going to be HSL repelling the attack of Clockwork for now.
And as we say so many times, the synergy of amplification is vital because it means you do double damage. And what does that mean? Double ult charge. Zapre's got the Deadeye ready to go. And against a stationary comp, it can be vital for breaking down the Orisa shield. That is a big hook, though.
Another big hook, but a bigger wall coming through from Fisher to save his main tank. So much damage coming out, forces out that immortality field from Askov.
Yeah, it does. Moose wants to get this whole hog ready to go. He can use it to break the shield, same as with Deadeye. Zapre still going to lie in wait.
That is a really early nano boost coming through from Moose. He instantly goes down. Again, Askov coming up big. Those amp matrices build up so quickly. No way you're going to survive there, Zytor, unfortunately. 1 minute and 50 seconds now remains. And this is going to be Clockwork trying to push on. They have got one tick. By losing Scarippa there as well, it's going to delay even more time.
Yeah, every time you lose someone that's taken 10 seconds away, Scarippa's got ready to go this Valkyrie. I would have liked to have seen Zapre save that Deadeye to try and counter out a very mobile aerial Mercy, because it can very much stymie the movement, force him to hide away and waste a lot of the uptime of that ultimate. Ricky, though, now has the Blizzard ready to go. It's been a long time coming, Jaws, and he can throw it as far as he wants. They've opened up with a Dragon Strike. That's going to force a reposition, but they haven't really capitalized on this.
Yeah, Askov actually almost went down to that. That would have been the biggest pick in the world. Nice little hook, but a 4-5 from Henning Sun to keep him alive. Oh no, and they're going to get frozen up too if they're not careful. Yep, there you go. The shield's going to fall as well. Ricky does wall them off for the time, but Moose and Zytor do end up falling. Zytor goes on these big flanks as well, not really playing off for him whatsoever. And now Clockwork, they've got 50 seconds left.
And this is exactly what we wanted to see, right? We've seen Chow move over onto this Roadhog, so that he's now matching Moose. He's brawling out pig versus pig, and a lot of the time he's winning out because Fish is being able to match Ricky with the utility of these walls. He's saved Henningson post-hook so many times by putting it between the Roadhog scrap gun and the head of the Orisa. Zapre now ready to go with this Deadeye, and Ding, he's got to save this Transcendence to deal with the Blizzard.
Ricky coming out though, he's got the ult in the bag, but Ricky instantly falls. HSL blowing almost every single ult there. They got 2 support ults down and now a supercharger being used as well on top of it. Clockwork Vendetta decide they want to back off, and Ding swiftly deals with the supercharger from Mini-Me. Another hook's going to land onto Moose, and now Clockwork Vendetta with 10 seconds to go. They're not going to be able to get back to the point in time, and they've only got a tick. HSL, the run back is real. Chow and Askov's redemption arc is coming up big. They need to secure the next couple of maps in order to stay in this series. They've secured Hollywood, but Clockwork Vendetta still on match point.
And that's the best start you can ask for, Jaws. When you're 2-0 down, you need that dominant win. You need to be like, okay, we lost the first 2 maps. Sure, it wasn't great. It wasn't great, but we full held on Hollywood. We are good enough to do this. We are HSL. We're going to roar at them. They're going to hear us. And right now, it seems like Askov coming in with that Baptiste, that's the main differentiating factor here. You bring in that Amp Matrix, that means you're always winning the Shield War, and the Shield War is so important when you're playing Orisa versus Orisa, because it means Mini-Me is a non-factor.
Well, we'll see if he does choose to pick it up in the next map as well. We're going to jump to a quick break, guys. Don't go anywhere. Map number 4 coming up soon. Hey guys, welcome back. This is HSL's chance. They managed to take Hollywood with that 1-tick hold, and now it again rests on their shoulders to win this next map. Clockwork Vendetta still standing one map away from taking the series and seeing Giganti in the finals.
And I talked during Temple of Anubis about how HSL are one of the more clutch teams when it comes to winning fights. They really shouldn't, but that first point hold is so impressive, and it's so important for HSL because it shows consistency in their ability to hold. And I think that they may have found their sort of like key to victory here with Ascoff on this Baptiste. The amplification matrix brings so much to the fight, and it means you can consistently win the shield war. You're also getting a huge amount more healing out compared to Scarippa on the Mercy.
Yeah, if you think back to Temple of Anubis when they were trying to defend for that 1-tick, right? You're like, okay, so I pick Mercy. Why? Because she has res. If someone gets picked off, we don't instantly lose the fight, so I can res them and then we can kind of fully reset. Maybe the enemy team gain a little bit of ground. But Ascoff is building these ults so fast, Harry. And Matrix does so much work, and more often than not, he's got one every single fight. And plus, not only that, you can almost deny Ricky a whole lot of burst damage, because if you put that immortality field down as he's blizzarding, he has to take care of that before he kills anybody else off.
Yeah, it's so good against Mei, like you said, because Mei's a very mono-targeting hero. Can't really do a huge amount of AoE when not using the primary fire. So second you get frozen, if immortality field's down, you've got to go for that first. It forces splitting of the attention, and when you split someone's attention, that's when they are more likely to make mistakes. Going for the immortality field, of course, is not a mistake, but that's when you're like, okay, I've got to kill this immortality field. Wait, did I just get hooked?
Yeah. Oh, wait, I'm dead. Well, that sucks. Clockwork Vendetta on the offense now. HSL on the defense. So same old for HSL. Chow back on the Roadhog. And I did say a little bit before on Hollywood, like, his Roadhog hasn't looked that clean. It didn't yesterday, but showing up to Moose, some of these hooks have been pretty good. He's just got to continue that. Zapre back on the Widowmaker, though. Mangmada will see if he wants to stick with his hands or will change it up.
And we know Chow's got the aim in him. He used to be a professional DPS player as well. Very good tracer. The tracking definitely very much in his favor. For now, though, it's going to be Clockwork Vendetta meeting here at the door, using the wall of Fisher. Ricky is to try and get an early bit of engagement.
Yeah, Ricky actually used the wall there to prevent HSL from actually backing up at all. Nice little hook, but Immortality Field comes out. Doesn't matter if you're naded, you're still going to be fine for the time being. And Ascoff, look at his ult percentage already. He's at 75%. Moose and Ricky are going to go down, and that means he's probably going to have an ult for this next fight.
And it's value again, Jaws, from this Immortality Field, from the Baptiste. He's got the Amplification Matrix basically ready to go. He's 83%. If you're Baptiste, you might as well have it at that point. Scarippa's still on this Mercy, trying to get value out of damage boosting Mangmada on Moose when he goes for those hooks to try and guarantee the kills from the whole hook. Good obfuscation there, using the wall, as that prey still hunting.
Still clicking heads. Another beautiful nade. Moose and Zytor go purple. Resurrection's still going to come onto Moose, though. Still need to get around this first corner. Now the booster's going to come through onto Moose once again. Instantly denied a lot of that space, though, as Fisher uses that ult as well. Blizzard and Amp Matrix doing a whole bunch of work. They managed to kill off the shield of Minimi, but not himself. He's like 2 HP right now, getting hit by Scarippa, and Ricky's coming back with vengeance as Mangmada's clicking heads as well.
Scarippa using the pistol whip on the back of Ding's head will remove him, but that was just the first corner, Jaws. That's the value of this early hold, HSL. They've drained a minute and a half of Clockwork Vendetta's time bank, and the Blizzard, and the Valkyrie, and the Nano Boost. Just to get around this first corner. They're now in a place where usually you'd see your first defense come through. The advantage here for Clockwork Vendetta is they got defensive positioning, but Zapper knows exactly where everyone is. He's got that infrasight active. He can go for a cheeky shot. There it is.
Oh, he saw them, but he can't, unfortunately, use those sights to see those walls. Seizing the resistance once again from Clockwork Vendetta. Now Mangmada's going to do a whole bunch of damage to shields and pretty much everything behind it as well, as Chow ends up falling down. Zapre going down to a single right-click headshot of Ricky. That should end the push, but they're still fighting, still delaying some extra time as Ding dodges out of the way of Mangmada, but not for long.
He gets to sleep again. Ding's been hitting so many of these, but Scarippa wants it. He's got the last 2 kills onto Ding for Ding's only 2 deaths of this particular map. Scarippa definitely trying to prove himself as one of the alpha supports right here with Clockwork Vendetta. They're making up the time that they lost. They've got 4 minutes to go through second tier, and this is where you really want to see the usage of the snipers. I'm surprised Zapre moving into second has actually gone over onto this McCree instead. Sure, you can get a lot of value from the Deadeye through Amplification Matrix, but we know this is one of the most famous points for snipers in all of Overwatch. When you think about this and Gibraltar first, maybe Ilios Ruins, he's going to have a lot of trouble out-sniping Ricky and McMahon. Neither of whom, like we see all the time, don't suffer from damage drop-off, and he's super vulnerable as well to a Holt Hook combo.
Maybe he really, really wants that shield pressure as well that Monkmar is giving out. He's not going to give as much as the hands, though. That's a nice wall. Nice nade as well. Henning Sun didn't really stand a chance against that whole hog. 1 ult, 1 kill. Oh, the Immortality Field only just saving Zapre, but they still haven't got a main tank as Clockwork are going to push it under the bridge.
And we haven't had a proper fight yet, Jules. They've almost got the entire way through the second here. Ricky actually gets killed as he uses his Blizzard. Maybe it cancelled. It is on the left-hand side.
A really, really early nano boost once again from Moose. He's going to have to go around the shield now. They got a touch, 3 meters remaining, but they got the damage as Monk Martyr kills 3 people in the back. There's the Amp Matrix mixed with the Deadeye, but what happens? Well, you peek round the rule, you get a kill, and Monk Martyr finds himself with 6k.
That was not going to go very well for Zapre no matter what happened. Monk Martyr was on one side, aiming down his head, and Moose was on the other, ready to come on in with the hook and the cancel. Monk Martyr, he's got a Sonic Arrow out, going to try and build it towards that Dragon Strike yet again. We've seen how useful it can be versus these Orissas who are so static. Supercharge is ready to go. That's going to help Zapre get his next ultimate. The same can be said of Ding, but that's an early hook.
Beautiful hook, but you're locked in place when you're doing sending it out. Does mean you're going to get walled out. It's exactly what happened to Moose, and he ends up going down. Finally, HSL are going to be able to reclaim control of this payload. It's going to trickle back ever so slightly, but Clockwork Vendetta, they've got a lot of time to play with here. 3 minutes and 40 seconds in this base phase is rather good.
And we'll have to see if HSL decides to have a more aggressive hold here. Obviously, Dorado third can be very much defined by the chokes by which you have to move to get in here. You can get a good bisection there with a Mabel. That was very close to Zapre's head, but don't worry, the shield will save you. And now they're just going to have this shield wall. Monk Martyr can actually catch them all by surprise if he comes in from the side of a Dragon Strike. We've seen it happen before.
There it is. There's the hole, but instantly you see Immortality Field coming out. The high news coming through, but what? They managed to kill the Immortality Field, and Monk Martyr kills 4 people, maybe even more as well. There's the 5th. Moose stealing his way is 6k yet again. Henning Sun going down here, so disastrous. HSL have to touch the point.
I think Minimi used the Holt after they augmented it. He halted them out of the Immortality Field instead of just halting them into it beforehand. They're getting Chow already. He's down.
Transcender's coming in. Dink's going to have to be the savior here, healing everybody up. But instantly taking down his Fisher, he lays out the Blizzard, but is it actually going to be there? Zytor's got the Nano as well, and Scarippa is going to come in for the res. Moose is alive and well once again as Henning Sun gets rounded upon and instantly taken down. And now only 3 meters remain, so Clockwork can sink this into third. Another Dragon Strike's there, as well as a Blizzard. They got the tools required, and Clockwork end point 3 with 2:20 in the time bank.
The motifs of our 2-2-2 matches, Shores: improvise, adapt, overcome. And what happens when you get so often stymied with your Dragon Strike Holt combo by the Immortality Field? Well, just use the Dragon Strike, because they're like, okay, we're going for Holt, guys, put down the Immortality Field. And you're like, no. We're waiting for the Holt. You get them afterwards while the Dragon's still active. That's a lingering ultimate. That remains a threat for a while. And it also means you guys are all going to be in a singular place. Here it is. I think they get halted round the side afterwards. The Immortality Field, you can see it's not in the kill feed. Doesn't die.
There it is. Monk Martyr with a 6k going on a 5k to round out the map. Plus they had ults to spare. He's building these Dragon Strikes up like they're absolutely nothing. 2 minutes and 20 seconds. That's a whole bunch of time for Dorado. It's now HSL's turn to attack, of course, but that is going to put a dent in your momentum.
Yeah, quick pause here. We've got to hope that no one on HSL has been afflicted with too much lag, or Clockwork Vendetta on the same thing. 2 minutes and 20. It's a very respectable time bank for Dorado. Often we see holds on third point or second point. Dorado's, like most escorts, a very defensively favored map, and at this point, you got to think back to HSL and how stalwartly, sort of like strong their mental game is. They cannot break here. They've got to bring it back. They've got to have Zapre on that Widow. Right now, it seems like Martyr doesn't really want to take the challenge because he feels like he's getting too much value out of a Hanzo. And why do you need to take that challenge when you're doing so well?
Yeah, I was going to say, why would you change the Hanzo when you're popping off that much? Zapre did change over to the McCree, and something I said when they were kind of pushing on to the second point, maybe he wants more shield pressure. The McCree does kind of dish a whole lot of that out with the new fire rate increase, and obviously the fan, the hammer as well. But you're nothing compared to a Hanzo with a whole lot of storm arrows. Plus, the Hanzo's so good at just revealing and giving so much information as well to Mini-Me and Moose. Sonic arrow on the wall. Oh, they're around there. Halt, hook, dead.
And the thing is, when you got the Sonic arrow, you don't even need the halt sometimes. So they just go for vanilla hook. And vanilla hook's important when you're just using Vax. It means you can then go for a halt into a wall, a halt into a snipe, a halt into a dragon strike. There are so many things to combine that with. You often want to go for halt hook because it can be one of the highest return on investments for 2 abilities. But if you're investing 2 abilities and you just use Sonic and hook because you know exactly where people are, you're basically going for a Widowmaker headshot with infrasights, then it means you can continue to snowball and get secondary picks.
Yeah, everybody's so clumped up in these comps as well that Sonic Arrow is going to reveal pretty much everybody. Maybe a support gets out scot-free, you know, way at the back. HSL now on the offense. Maybe running out with the Sombra might be a good idea here. A lot of chunky targets to kind of feed off of. But the issue is Monk Mardic and New Knife rather quickly. Ricky as well is going to be fairly annoying to take down. You're not looking for pickoffs in that scenario. You're just looking to build EMP and then hopefully get it off and capture Ricky. That's going to be the main target, I can imagine. He's causing the most problems for HSL in terms of the tank line. Zaprey, though, is actually changing over. Okay, he's going on to the Reaper instead.
Once again, he's going to be trying to take advantage of Moose's vulnerability to the shotguns heroes. We will not be able to get the hack on him, though, which means you can always be counter-attacked with the hook, but we have seen Zaprey do a very good job before of avoiding the hook with the use of a Wraithform. A nifty bit of tech you can get as a Roadhog, though, is to use your melee just on nothing, because it's a very similar animation to throwing out your hook. You can try and force out some cooldowns using that tech that we may see coming through from Moose in the coming seconds.
Oh, that's a whole lot of damage. I wouldn't be like to be a Heading Stun right now, especially as he's anti-nated. Still kills Zytor, though. A little bit of revenge, maybe. And a beautiful bio grenade from HSL as well to keep everybody healthy. Dings flexed onto the Ana, but flexes right the way back to spawn as he ends up going down. But Moose now punished out by Zaprey. This is exactly what we said would happen. You got to run towards people in this comp. Askov hits that speed boost. Zaprey presses W. He presses the M1 as well. How are you going to counter this, Harry?
Well, you got a shield dance if you're mini-me, but unfortunately you just don't have the damage to make it work. This looks like it will be a why, though. That's a victory ult if ever I saw one.
Hey, kill Ricky, come on, man. He popped out of Ice Block, instantly met his death.
You're not going to stymie me. You may have frozen me before, but not this time. Zaprey just using the for Wraithform there to get a quick reload and a speed burst so that he could close the distance of McMartin, knowing he didn't have that leap available. He can now make an engagement onto Moose.
What a sleep!
Wow.
Okay, from the high ground. They're going to need to execute him rather fast. All in one. There we go. Countdown from 5 to 1, instantly killing him off. Monkmada killed Chow in the sidelines as well, so currently HSL getting first point, but they're going to have to regroup again.
Clockwork Vendetta need to hold very close here, Jaws, because look at that time bank. 4 minutes and 48 seconds remain. Right now, HSL are on a very good pace. Clockwork Vendetta need to make them pay for every single meter that they are gaining. That cut's moving backwards, but it does have a backboard at the end of the first point, so it isn't really too much of an issue for HSL. Instead, we're going to see a little bit of a disengagement with Clockwork Vendetta. Nice pick.
Cheeky hook with the nade, ends Fish's life rather sharpish. Resurrection is available.
They nanoed a sleeping Reaper.
I don't know about that one. He's going to get up, though. Maybe he's okay. He jumps to the back line. Scroop is keeping everybody alive, though. They do lose Ricky in the meantime. But Zaprey slept and nanoed and dead. HSL going for the reset.
That can't have been intentional.
Oh, I don't think so. Scripper was there with the res too, so it's like, yeah, you got Mickey. Well, you're going to get res.
I'm not a fan of him killing Chow there either. They really could have forced him to go back and reset or to make a long way back, because look at HSL's time bank. You can't afford to be allowing Chow to maintain this ultimate and the time bank at the same time just because you want a little bit of ult charge. I'm not even sure if Moose got any. He has the whole hog ready to go. That's going to be great for shield break. Maybe you'll be using it against Zaprey as well. Make sure that he's always being pushed away.
Got a lot of ults online for HSL. They use their supercharge at the same time Clockwork Vendetta do. There's this ultra structure as well. That's going to be a whole lot of damage coming out from Chow. HSL cleaning on up. Now they can move on. They have the Blizzard. They have the Death Blossom also, as well as that beat can come through, but there's not really much they need to deal with right now unless Ricky or Monk Marder build up towards an ult.
Clockwork Vendetta, they invested so heavily in that fight as well. Jaws not looking good for the defense here. They've only got the whole hog left. Monk Marder dragged out, will manage to get back into cover, looking for their own hook, and there they get Fisher. That could be what they need.
Max range hookage right there. Zaprey's going to go down as well. Askov lays down the beat, in fact, but gets caught off on the sidelines by Ricky. Frozen up and instantly killed. I don't know about the investment there at the sound barrier. Rather questionable, especially as you've lost 2 people already. Perhaps he was hoping he could save Zaprey, but Zaprey got instantly killed. And now the Chow stagger.
that was perfect. We actually managed to interrupt the ultimate like we talked about earlier. That means Chow won't have that available.
They're still staggering it. This has got to be one of the longest staggers. Zapray's going to come back, though, on the side, but I'm not sure he's going to be able to do anything against 4 or 5 people. There you go. He finally gets taken down. As long as no one dies here from Clockwork Vendetta, it's going to be massive worth, and that's exactly what happens.
Yeah, HSL do not want to commit without Chow, because Chow's usage here of a defense motion is going to be crucial. Look at the ultimates. Both of them are projectiles. Ricky with the Blizzard. Monkmada with the Dragon Strike. Both are very easily channeled. They're easily telegraphed. They're easily eaten. They're going to be trying to force out Chow's usage of a defense matrix here, or using the primary fire of Ricky to make sure that he is CC'd and that isn't available. That's a big headshot.
Yeah, that's a big headshot, and you can see Ricky up in the skylight as well. Harry's actually freezing people from the back, so they're slowed up as they move around the corner, plus in danger of getting frozen completely.
Really cool shield placement there, as you can see from Henningsen, actually interrupted the Hulk that was going to drag them back into the Dragon Strike, but now that's not available. Fisher can't afford to catch a headshot here. Ricky can try and bisect people as he goes through, but he's also got the Blizzard. He can maybe get them by surprise. Chow's gone!
Chow's gone! Blizzard coming out soon! Die in the back line as Zaprey unleashes the ult. The Blizzard comes out. Chow goes for the attempted eat, but he still managed to freeze up Henningsen on the side. Kill him now, and it might be the win for Clockwork, but a counter Blizzard comes through from Fisher as Zaprey cleans house.
A little bit slow on the draw there, I think, for Ricky. Could have gone for the 2 supports instead. Tried to get the greed on to that supercharger, not quite good enough. And now Zaprey's got a really good position. He can try and take advantage of this, but still HSL, look at this time back and look at where Clockwork Vendetta is. They've got 20 seconds to complete third if they want a bigger time back. I don't think that's actually physically possible, but they can still try for the full completion here. We'll see a bigger time back for Clockwork Vendetta, but when it comes to the reverse sweep, anything will do.
Clockwork defend here. They take the series and go towards the finals, Harry. That is what is at stake for HSL right now. They need to be able to complete. Clockwork Vendetta using that supercharger early, forces HSL to retreat.
That's a smart disengagement, though. Don't take that fight. Don't allow them to build the ultimates. Ricky's been slept. This could be an easy execution. It's forced Mini-Me to move forward.
Yeah, they're dashing forward. Askov's going to use that speed boost. They managed to pick off Ricky. The perfect start from HSL as they do take the high ground as well with Chow. Saraka Strike is going to come through also, but look at this. No one's getting afflicted at all. Fisher jumped into the ice cube. Chow does use that self-destruct, but it buys so much space for Zaprey to run to the back line. Die. It's Title, Monkmada, and Mini-Me are going to go down. Moose comes back with vengeance, but HSL have bodies and men on the point. They managed to complete third with time in the bank.
That was perfect. Zaprey just demanded so much attention, and while Zaprey's up there with the sustainability, with the damage reduction, that's when the cart's moving on forward. And to a degree, that was definitely saved by that sleep dart. Ding coming in the clutch, sleeps Ricky, and that not only forces Mini-Me to go up, he's got to put down his shields like, okay, I'm going to try and defend Ricky. But what can you do when you're Mini-Me and everyone's like, you just put your shield down, we're just going to walk towards you. You've got to leave Ricky alone, right? He gets executed. So many headshots, you can't ice block your way out of that because there's a small micro stun after the sleep when you take damage to make sure you can't use those abilities, and there's a potential that you are actually killed there by burst damage. So that was fantastic there from HSL and from Ding. That was one of the most clutch sleep darts, possibly won them the entire point, because he got the nano afterwards onto Zaprey, which is why he managed to take so much time away from Clockwork Vendetta, who were focusing on him.
Yeah, he used the Wraithwalk as well to actually gain ground. Not something you usually see. You want to dodge out abilities or go for that quick reload, but no. Use that Wraithwalk, use that speed boost from Askov as well. Straight for the back line, hit the Q key, everybody falls over.
Malik would be proud.
Oh, yeah, he would. HSL now with 1 minute and 40 seconds remaining, Harry, in their time bank. They're on the offense once again. Zaprey, change over, mate. I know you're going to go onto that Reaper.
It seems like right now the time banks are close enough that it really makes no odds. Most of this will be gained in overtime, I'm sure. That's just how it goes with second rounds of escort maps all the time. 2 full completions. Henningsen catches that anti-grenade, but of course they're behind his shield, so it's going to be pretty safe for him. Monkmada wants to try and hold up a little bit higher here. We're seeing a more proactive defense from Clockwork Vendetta. They want to make sure this first corner is fought for.
Fisher actually changed over to the fire. You can see holding up on the high ground, wanted to get the boot down with a concussive blast. Switches over to the May once again. As Clockwork Vendetta forgo the high ground now.
And they forgo this first stretch as well. HSL held them for so long here. They don't want to drain that time bank for the distance. They want to try and have a far more stable play right here. They can hear Zaprey in that high ground towards the left right there. We'll join the rest of his team who are just going to speed forward. They're using the Lucio now for the speed boost. Just get him in there.
Yeah, just get him past the wall. That's exactly what you need to do. Ricky walled behind them. Didn't result in HSL really doing all of anything apart from speeding forwards. Good halt into arrows. Kills off Zaprey. but Moose might be in a little bit of trouble now. Monkmada coming up with the kills, but they do trade 1 for 1.
A little bit too much. Going in, trying to go for a freeze, they get the res.
Yeah, they get the res off. That freeze doing way too much work, and now Monkmada's got the ult as well. 37 seconds now remain for Clockwork Vendetta to defend. That Dragon's doing a whole bunch of Chow and Ding are in a world of hurt.
Henningsen has the supercharger down, the Nano's out as well, onto Zapray.
Oh, this is a whole bunch of damage, but everybody's almost locked up, and he's actually just going to get pushed away. Nothing you can do against that whole hog. They had to kill him off. 2 ults now forgone, and a blitzer coming through from Ricky. Zapray and Fisher end up going down, and HSL have 15 seconds remaining.
And that's the call you make. The second Zapray uses that Ray Fork, you're like, Ricky, get in there, freeze him up. Use the blizzard. 6 seconds remaining. Can anyone even touch? It might have to be Askoff who goes in.
3 seconds remain. Ding's jumped over to the Moira as well. They do get one person on the cart, and it's going to be Askoff. He was so close to that beat also. OT ticking through. They all get walled off by Ricky, and Clockwork Vendetta, they got to push it to that big green box. They know how far they got to go. HSL have got to defend here for 2 minutes.
But the choices Vendetta made, Jaws, this is very winnable for HSL, because it's only just towards the end you can see the payload right there with the first point. HSL, they hold Clockwork Vendetta at their doors for 1 minute and 30 seconds. That's most of the time back that's available. Clockwork Vendetta, they decided, we're going to not hold them up that close, we're just going to poke for some ultimates. Then we're going to retreat to the marketplace and make our stand there. May come back to bite them if they cannot get that distance in this area, but this is where Clockwork Vendetta, they have their boot on the throat of the line of HSL. They are ready to claim their spot in the finals, ready to go up against Giganti and stake their claim on a gauntlet spot.
HSL, what are they going to do on defense? Are they going to run the Reaper again? It looks like they're going to. Askoff jumping over to the Lucio once more has really been the facilitator. We spoke very highly of his Baptiste, but this Lucio is also working out extremely well. Not only are you speeding past the walls, you're also helping Zapray to run into you. We've seen this comp a little bit in Overwatch League as well. You just hear that speed boost. Zapray walks into the Orisa, click, 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 boom. The headshot does a whole bunch of damage, and especially with the Orisa, who can't really want to raid that quickly. As soon as that falls, no shield pressure available, and the other team ends up falling. That's what's happened recently. We'll see if the same can play out here. They're going to hold on this first corner.
And with the nature of Escort, when you've got that Reaper, you've got to move into Zapray, into his effective range. You're actually seeing a little bit of a flank here. Monkmada can take anyone out with a single headshot, and he's going on a long flank. It's going to be so difficult to try and deal with him. Zapray may have to invest his teleport to do it. He does have an extended eye frame doing that, so he can actually challenge that sniper without getting instantly headshot.
Okay, they take the opportunity of not seeing Monkmada to take care of Moose, but he's actually so far in the background now. Nice headshot onto Ding's going to start the fight off rather well for Clockwork Vendetta, but they're still kind of getting destroyed in the front line. You see Ricky and Mini-Me end up going down as well. Monkmada doing a lot of work here, but it's going to be up to the rest of his team to get back to the point.
The question is, are they going to disengage here? They don't have Ding as their primary healer, but they know they just want to drain this time bank. Even if they lose this fight under Manjaws, it's still draining the time. It's still making them pay for these meters. That could be very dangerous for Zaitor. Will duck away. A good eat onto the halt as well from Chow.
Uh-oh. Zapray needs to kill one of those pillars soon in order to make sure Henningsen is safe. Drag back into on Chow to make sure he takes a little bit of extra damage. Ricky's a little bit caught out on the side. Uses a wall to obfuscate vision. Ding's trying to heal everybody up at the back line. He managed to get back to the fight in time, but Henningsen's now dead. Zapray's got the ult. Uses it on the spot, but it doesn't really get much done at all. That's going to be Clockwork Vendetta now popping off. Monkmada finds 2 as Fisher ends up going down.
And he is. The rest of HSL will now fall, but look at this, Jaws. They drained the time bank. This is still winnable for HSL. Ding is demanding so much attention.
Ding's going to win this 1v1, mate, if he's not careful. Monkmada swiftly delivers him the palm. Clockwork Vendetta, though, Harry, look how many ults they've got.
This is the rescue run when you take that forward engagement. You've given away a lot of ultimate charge. You do have both your support ultimates, but you may have to pop them just to try and get aggressive. Fisher needs to get his Blizzard right here. Cannot be eaten, whereas Chow, he can be the magic. He can be the secret source. He can mitigate the Dragon Strike, which is already being used.
Dragon Strike on the sidelines. Ding uses the nano as well. That wall's going to come up to deny so much vision. Zapray has got nothing left. He's got that ult. He instantly takes out Ricky and cancels the ult as well. They let go of their own Blizzard, and the beat's going to come down from Askoff. It gets cancelled out, but it doesn't matter. Clockwork Vendetta halted here at the final hurdle with 5 seconds remaining. Zapray comes up huge.
What a hero play. Zapray straight into the noggin of Ricky, and there's nothing that you can do about that. The nano-boosted headshot from the Reaper. Thought you could put down Snowball, but he's just laying down a tombstone.
That's it, HSL, 2 maps under their belt. Clockwork Vendetta have the same, but the run back is looking oh so real for HSL. This series is one of the closest we've seen so far in playoffs. Could this be the curse that Clockwork Vendetta have to overcome? HSL defeated them all the way back in week number 1 as well.
And they did defeat them on a map 5. It will be the choice of Clockwork Vendetta where we're going for control to decide who gets our final spot. No draws, no second chances. It all comes down to this.
Giganti is lying in wait for them in those finals a little later on this month. We're going to jump to a quick break, guys. Do not go anywhere. We'll be right back. Here it is, the final map to decide who will face Giganti in the finals. Will it be HSL Esports with a reverse sweep, or will the fairy tale continue for Clockwork Vendetta? Only one way to find out, Harry. We're jumping on to Control as our next map.
It was looking so dominant in our first map. Just Monkmada just clicking heads everywhere. Zapre didn't seem to get that much value out of a Reaper, but things have changed after the half-time. You've got to think HSL, we've been having a little bit of a powwow in the team with the coach as well. We're going over to Busan. This is where we first saw HSL show some dominance over Clockwork Vendetta. It was Zapre on the Widowmaker, on downtown, clicking Engineer's head again and again and again.
But I don't think we're going to see Engineer. They've kept Monkmada in on this DPS slot for the last 4 maps. Why bring him in now when Monkmada is clearly on fire? Set up by his team as well, like you said, and one of the big plays in that highlight reel was the halt out of the Immortality field straight into the Triple Dragons. Absolutely beautiful.
Mwah.
Busan as well is an interesting map, Harry. Let's talk about this for a second because, in a sense, Control is kind of RNG to start off with before you actually load on in, because you're like, okay, what maps are we going to get? Mega Base definitely in favor of Clockwork Vendetta and how they like to play. Sanctuary, sometimes not. You can use the walls to kind of get rid of vision. Doesn't like we are going on to Sanctuary. There we go.
Sanctuary and downtown can also lend themselves to Pharah play if you so desire. Fish is a very good Pharah, and we know that Askov can combine with him on the Mercy, and that means that he could be he could be very difficult to take out when you're on May. You're not really favored in that matchup. You have to rely on Monkmada to try and do that, and if Monkmada's looking at the sky to try and save his team from a Pharah, then Zapre, he's not going to be as checked as you would like. We'll have to see what people come out with there. With the central drum, it provides a lot of central cover, which means that you can bring out a Reaper here to very great effect because you can play very effectively around that central cover, especially when it's so small. It means you can get around those corners fast and have quick hit and runs with the shotguns.
Now you can. Chow back on the Diva. However, 15 seconds until they do get unleashed out of that gate. I mentioned before that him and Askov really want a new light shined upon them after their season with Eternal Academy. What a better place to start it right here in the semi-finals. The gates are going to unlock. Doesn't like Monkmada is going to jump onto the Hanzo. We're actually seeing Zaitor on the Brigitte instead, so it's going to be Mercy. Not solo heal, but Brig providing a lot of AoE heals only when you're up and close and personal with it.
We will also see our overlay swap around in just a second. It's currently the wrong way around, but don't be confused. Everyone's still on the same team as they were beforehand. Zapre's hitting some early shots, 31% of the way, and Monkmada, look at all the damage he's doing, using those little cracks to get himself the angle on the shield. All
right, as soon as Moose fell, that's an instant resurrection on by Scripper. Monkmada now trying to hunt, it seems, for the opposing sniper. Another casualty of war is Mini-Me, as he does get storm arrowed. That'll be HSL just kind of rolling all over. Monkmada just wants to build ult as quick as possible. Maybe not trying to deal with this Widowmaker would be a smart idea, just maybe pub all the tanks in the sidelines. Askov does end up falling, but there is very little point presence right now for Clockwork Vendetta. They got Ricky on there, who's buying a lot of time, but with Scripper going down, he's got not much backup left.
And when you've only got really Monkmada in there, that means you can basically commit your shield to him.
What? Okay, Monkmada manages to kill Chow and his mech. Ricky ends up going down, and point does go over to HSL. Zapre are popping the info sites as well. Know where they're all coming. Zaitor stepped an inch too close to him and gets taken.
You're really going to peek Zapre when he's got info sites? I find that to be a foolhardy venture. Mini-Me's going to move forward, but look, instantly using that Storm Arrow is Fisher. Get rid of that shield, get rid of that tank.
Storm Arrow's doing a lot of damage, plus granting Fisher the ultimate. Dragon Strike through. Did they see it? I don't think Moose did. He gets instantly taken out by Zapre. Damage boosted with the Dragons. Easy mode for the Widow. And now HSL can just cower behind the shield. You might as well. Zapre finds Mini-Me. Ricky's going to fall too. Monkmada maybe popping off right now on the side. But if you can't take down the shield and you can't take down Henningsung, you can't get on the point.
Ricky, oh my lord, we've got ourselves a Ricky Widowmaker. Ring the bells, he's got off May. Not seeing as much use here, trying to go double sniper versus double sniper. It's not going to be as much shield pressure up against Henningson's shield right now. Instead, Zapre's going to have to watch out for Ricky's incoming fire. Monkmada's got the dragons ready to go. Fisher does not. That's a big advantage, but they can be generated so quickly when you got the extra damage from Henningson. And of course, his supercharger. You can put it down behind the drum, and it's very difficult to try and deal with this. Moose is on a big flank, though.
Oh, nice pick off by Monkmada, though. Good start to the fight. Ding gets insta-resurrected. Askov ends up going down mid-ult. Oh, dear. He tries to launch himself off the ground, and Ricky clicks on him. Now Moose still on the flank. Zapre is the suffer of one headshot. Oh, Moose! No! Oh, the Widow didn't even know you were there. Neither did the Hanzo. Henningsang put down that supercharger as well, so it was so hard for Clockwork Vendetta to get on this point, and now only 15 seconds remain.
Oh, that's what I call a classic choke right there, Jaws. Moose should have got a little bit closer, just put it straight into Zapray's head. 93%, everyone's dead. Who's going to touch it? Don't have anyone fast to make it work.
I don't think they're going to be able to. Clockwork Vendetta going to have to get back onto the point fast. Monk Martyr on the doofus, but no one could get there in time. And now HSL, Harry, they are one map away from the reverse sweep.
Is double sniper the secret? You know they can't match you. Zapray's so good at Widow, Fisher's so good at Hanzo, they can't go double sniper versus double sniper. And every time you're trying to make these engagements, every time Moose goes out a little bit wide, oh my, the luck of the draw. It's not right now looking like it's Clockwork Vendetta's.
Mega base not on the cards, or not just yet anyway. We're going to downtown. Ricky switching back over to the May, but like you said, this double sniper is so dominant. Zapray was left completely alone, and an unpressured Widow is the deadliest.
Well, right now they are going to give it up. I would have thought HSL may have just continued to try and make this work, but instead, this is what they've practiced here evidently, and they've got Askov still on this Lucia. That's going to mean they're just going to run on forward with Zapray. Use that speed boost, try and overwhelm Mini-Me and Moose. Maybe if you can avoid the hook using your Ray form of Zapray, bait it out, that's exactly what you need. But you know, the second you use that, that's Ricky's chance to go in, get the freeze on you. An early wall will not bisect anyone. It will obfuscate incoming movement. And there's the teleport.
Just teleport to the rest of the team. He's all good. Ricky taking so much damage. There's the wall. That's what you wanted to see. And you're trapped with Zapray. But apparently you're trapped with Ricky. You've got to be careful. Zapray doesn't manage to find a kill just yet. Although he helps Henningsang clear off Moose. A nice little freeze onto Mini-Me as well, as he also ends up going down, but HSL have the point.
And Chalmay getting value out of the defense matrix. Zapray gets frozen, but no one can hit a headshot because he's bathed in the matrix.
Monk Martyr is so good, plus he's got the pocket as well. They're going to move on to the point.
Turn
he finds
around,
himself
Fisher.
his third kill. Fisher ends up going down. They need to clear them off ASAP. Ding is in fact actually gone over to the Moira instead to join the rest of his team also quickly. HSL still build up a lot of time here, but Scripper ends up going down. Monk Martyr's going to get taken out by Baby Diva as well. Askov scoring absolute panic in the back line. And Chow with a double kill on the Baby Diva.
The Pilot Diva just proving too strong right now. Maybe they can get the flip here. They've managed to wolf them off. There it is. Exactly what they need.
Okay, finally, but Zapray's coming in. Death from above. Ricky and Mini-Me end up going down. This could be the quickest flip ever. HSL reclaim control of the point.
Moose used his whole hog. He was instantly frozen. It was cancelled away. He's now Fisher. He's got control. Ricky's already used his. But Blizzard's going to be so important. And Clockwork Vendetta, they only denied 9% away from HSL, who are almost halfway to claiming the map and the reverse sweep, the final spot, the potential for Gauntlet, the chance to go up against Giganti. But maybe I'm getting ahead of myself right here. Double support ultimates for Clockwork Vendetta, but will it be enough to deal with this Blizzard?
Fisher's coming in, trying to freeze Moose, can't use the rebreather, instant use of the Blizzard as well. Zaitor did not stand a chance, and Henningsang takes out Moose. They may have capped the point, but it's surely going to be over in a second. There's going to be Scarippa high in the sky, but can't quite deal enough with that damage. Supercharger at the very end helps everybody gain a whole lot of ult charge too, and they find the flip again.
Zidor's gone to Brigitte. Old Brigitte. We don't have the extra armor packs. This is a huge lack of healing right now for Clockwork Vendetta. They're going to be trying to do this quick and clean. They want the stun onto Zapray or onto Fisher to make sure that he's vulnerable. They're going for the double stun, in fact. They want the shield bash into the flashbang. Make sure that Ding may not be able to use this ultimate. It's a channel ultimate, Jaws. It can be interrupted. Same for Askov. HSL, it's all about sustain here. Get themselves to 99%. And that's an early usage of the supercharger. If
they're going to actually just flank the Might as well. The beat's going to come through. The coalescence as well. Zapray is going to be so chunky in this fight. How will you deal with this? HSL, they're up to 90%. They're ready to take this series, but Mini-Me says no. Fisher and Zapray end up going down, but can he sustain? The self-destruct on point deals with Ricky, and HSL clear Clockwork Vendetta off the point. The Cinderella story is out but an end as Clockwork fall and HSL go to finals.
And that's for Chow Redemption, baby. The 2 kills on the Pilot Diva. Exactly what you want when you're going for the clutch. Just get in there, ram the bunny pistol up into someone's head and keep firing until everything's done.
What a series, a reverse sweep by HSL. Like you said, the redemption for Chow and Askov. They're in the finals, but their toughest opponent is waiting for them there in Team Giganti.
It's going to be the first to fall. The winner goes to South Korea, to the Giga Arena in August to face off against the best contenders teams in the world at Gauntlet to try and reclaim some of the European honor that was lost back at Atlantic Showdown.
Maybe it was all too good to be true for Clockwork Vendetta fans. Although Monk Martyr, it's got to be, like, chat of the match, MVP, right? There's no way we don't see more of this guy. His Hanzo, just exceptional. His Widowmaker as well has also been absolutely stellar. It's been such a blessing to see Clockwork Vendetta come in. Brand new names across the board, just perform up against the best EU has to offer. They do fall in semis, but they can definitely hold their head high after their first season of Contenders.
Speaking of the best EU has to offer, Jaws, both of our contenders from Atlantic Showdown, British Hurricane and Angry Titans, nowhere near the finals. We're going to be sending a new team to international competition. It's either going to be HSL or it's going to be Giganti. You know, Giganti are definitely salty. They didn't get to go there and represent us in Krefeld. Now they're going to have their chance, but they've got to beat their way through HSL, who are looking so strong. And we're going to see a competition between two of the best Baptistes that we have in Europe as well, in Ascoff and, of course, Lilbo.
Ascoff's been so good with these amplification matrix. At the end of the day, you're building these ults so quickly that you're going to use one almost every single fight. You're healing an Orisa and a Hog. Like, that's a whole lot of health pool you need to heal, right? And not only do you have your shift to kind of heal yourself, you have those grenades also. And they can be rather tough to land, especially when you're battling up against something like a Mei. But Ascoff always seemingly make it work. His Lucio has also been extremely good at facilitating Zapre and getting him in the spots that Clockwork Vendetta didn't want it.
No Royal Road, unfortunately, for Clockwork Vendetta. Their season ends here. But still, dark horse. HSL was definitely that for a lot of people. You come into this season, you're like, okay, British Hurricane haven't had many changes. Maybe they're going to be the ones to do it. Giganti, the same thing. A lot of people expected them to do very well, and they've definitely lived up to that.
Another person we talk about a whole bunch, and we've seen almost every single Contender season, is Ding. Took a small break from Overwatch, but back with